Mani nina budni. Nina gana yata na padnandi. Marwechanga ngadlu ko bukiana, porkana, ko magana mene yalara. Ngadlu wangandi mani na budni ngadlu ko yatana. Mani ngadlu tampandi ngadlu gana yatanga tigandi. Yanti yata. Ngadlu patu wilyanga takandi. Yanti yata rapadnama. Ngadlu ko bukiana mena tampinga. Welcome. On behalf of the Ghana people, we welcome you to Ghana country. On behalf of our elders, our ancestors, and other Ghana people, we welcome you. It's good that we acknowledge country wherever we go, and the lands that we stand on is known as Batawilia, the swamp gum foliage place. And as you travel this country, recognize and respect our elders.
Welcome to Tiati Wangathi Kamunka. Pronounced in the Ghana language, this translates to truth-telling together. This is our truth about how South Australia was colonised, as told by the Ghana nation and the city of Hogwarts Bay. This story begins in 1836, when South Australia was colonised by the British. Colonisation means the action or process of settling among and establishing control over the Indigenous people of an area. Long before the British settled South Australia, the Ghana lived along Adelaide's coastline and plains, from Cape Jervis on the Fleurieu Peninsula all the way to Crystal Brook in the mid-north. They would spend the summer months camping at the beach. But that all changed when British colonists claimed the land the Ghana people lived on without offering them treaty or compensation. This was despite clear instruction from the King of England that the Aboriginal population was to be recognised under the rule of law. This was detailed in the Letters Patent, which is one of South Australia's most important historical documents that still exists today. As we understand it today, Aboriginal history dates back around 65,000 years, when Aboriginal ancestors first occupied parts of northern Australia before spreading out across the continent. At the time of invasion, Aboriginal people had homes. They farmed the land, cared for crops, and traded happily with neighbouring territories. They were advancing with technologies, sharing language and oral traditions. In 1836, when the first of the South Australian Company's ships set sail to establish the province of South Australia, the Aboriginal population was around 15,000. Most of the British settlers arriving in South Australia had no idea about the conditions they would encounter. What do you think they saw as they set foot on the land for the first time? Were they hoping for a better life on the other side of the world? And how do you think the Ghana people felt as they saw the ships arrive and these new people set foot on their land? On the 28th of December 1836, the proclamation ceremony was held at Glenelg's Old Gum Tree. Governor Highmarsh read the proclamation document and reiterated the King's decree that was detailed in the Letters Patent. He warned the new settlers that they would be severely punished if they did not treat Aboriginal people in the same way they themselves wanted to be treated. But most settlers arrived in South Australia with a preconceived notion of Aboriginal people. Though the first few months were peaceful, and despite the orders from the King and Governor, Aboriginal people in South Australia suffered greatly. The colonisation of South Australia and the dispossession of Aboriginal Australians is rarely acknowledged in the history books. Few South Australians have heard of the Letters Patent. Even fewer would know what the document says. But these historical issues remain modern issues. Without resolution, they continue to cause great hurt and impact on Aboriginal Australians each day. We are in this together. We all have a responsibility on the path to truth and the path to reconciliation. And in the words of Ghana Elder Geoffrey Newchurch, once you start the journey with accepting each other's truths, accepting the truths of the past, then you start that journey of talking together, walking together.